Big surprise for WWE. Of course, everybody who follows the Stevie Breach channel and watches all the videos, I've been talking about John Cena taking a leave of absence for WWE for a couple of weeks now. I honestly thought they would have got a storyline started for John Cena 2 weeks ago with him having a United States Open Challenge, maybe having somebody, from the main roster or somebody from NXT debuting, maybe taking out Cena, and really getting a roll on starting something up for themselves. John Cena leaving for 2 months after Hell in a Cell. He's not going to be on Monday Night Raw live from San Diego, and it couldn't happen at a worse time. With Randy Orton's injury, they definitely have Dean Ambrose, which they can try and heat up, but I don't really know what they'll do for John Cena's United States Open Challenge. I mean, easily, if you go back to Night of Champions, the mystery man that was going to be tag teaming with The Shield definitely was the one thing that, more people cared about than anything else on the pay-per-view. People were thinking it was going to be The Rock. People thought it was going to be Baron Corbin. People thought it was going to be Samoa Joe. People thought it was going to be, Eric Rowan at one point. They thought it was going to be 1,000 different people. And so, with the United States Open Challenge, where we've seen John Cena have great matches against, Stardust, Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose was the first one that I had for WrestleMania. That was a real big surprise to have him come out. In the past few weeks, we've seen him fight against Big E and Xavier Woods. Even Seth Rollins took a shot to go after the championship. Definitely if you go online, the big names that people are talking about that's rumored is, John Cena going against Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze, surprise, surprise, makes his WWE main roster debut on SmackDown this week. This video is being taped on Tuesday. The match will be shown live in Canada Wednesday night, and then from there it'll be leaked around the world until it's on in the United States. I think we're the last people to get SmackDown in the entire world on television. A lot of people will, find an illegal stream that's based out of Canada and watch it on Wednesday if you still watch SmackDown. But Tyler, to me, honestly, would be a great guy to bring up and put into this spot where he could be going after this belt. Even if you win it, it's definitely a way for NXT guys to come in. You beat John Cena, the face of the WWE. But then, of course, what comes from that. John Cena would definitely come back and then have to beat Tyler Breeze 3 pay-per-views in a row, like we've seen him do with Ryback, like we've seen him do with Kevin Owens. It's just not a big win-win situation to have somebody, come in and immediately beat Cena like it did for Kevin Owens. It might even hurt him more than it helped him. Daniel Bryan coming back from his injury. There's definitely a spot open on the main roster. I know that Dave Meltzer was talking about that it is sort of up in the air if WWE might be holding back Daniel Bryan to the point where they don't want him coming in until after WrestleMania because they want to have a Royal Rumble, they want to have a WrestleMania where the fans aren't going crazy. Daniel Bryan has ruined those last 2 things for him. It's not like Daniel Bryan's the guy ruining it. It's just the fans wanted to see Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. And then the fans, after the long hiatus of Daniel Bryan due to injury, wanted to see him again get another shot to go after the title at WrestleMania 31, seeing how this is a guy who's never lost the championship. He had an injury, he got hurt, he saw the writing on the wall, he gave the belt to the Authority, and next thing you know, this guy's in the Intercontinental title hunt. It ended up being short run because, right after WrestleMania, I believe he wrestled for like 3 months tops. Bryan was hurt and back on the injured reserve list now. But, Bryan, is very adamant. Every interview he does, he says that he is cleared by his own personal doctor. He does want to wrestle. Whatever he has to do, to get a WWE release and wrestle on the independents, that is his dream. That he wants to continue wrestling because it's what he's always done and it's what he's always loved his whole life. That I don't really see Daniel Bryan being the guy. Samoa Joe is not currently booked on the WWE NXT Aftershock show that I was talking about earlier here in Sacramento. Samoa Joe could be in LA. I'm not 100% sure that it would be him. Of course, on the NXT show, if you're following that, which, so much of that is already pre-taped, and it's not that much hard work to get Samoa Joe 1 day off from a house show if he was moved to the main roster to make sure that he would go back and wrestle a match against Finn Balor for the NXT Championship. I just don't see Samoa Joe as the guy that's going up to the main roster sooner than later. I think that, you know, he would follow along with the line of guys where maybe Vince McMahon is saying, all right, it's okay if you sign these guys and you bring them in NXT and they get to keep their own personal name. But I think the guys that they have plans for, whether that's, you know, Finn Balor, Asuka, you know, Hideo Itami, those people who are in the long-term picture for WWE, those people need new names, so WWE will, you know, own them, and they'll be able to put them on figures, they'll be able to put them on shirts, and then if they ever choose to leave the promotion, they won't take it with them. Sami Zayn is a guy that got injured during a United States Open Challenge. We've seen him do the Evolve shows last week in New York. He did not wrestle. He did do promos. He did sign autographs. It's been 5 months since his injury on Monday Night Raw. And I don't know how long it takes for him to get over that injury, but Sami Zayn would be a great name. I'm just looking at a poll right now being run by Ringside News, and he is in last place with barely any votes. 39 votes out of 478, so a very small percentage of what's going down. And then, of course, the guy that is probably going to be going after the WWE World Heavyweight Championship after Hell in a Cell, Dean Ambrose. Ambrose is the guy that needs a match. He's not currently booked on Hell in a Cell. If you do want somebody to have a big match against Cena and lose, Ambrose could be your guy. Ambrose is a guy that's been heated up to go after Seth Rollins' championship a few times. He was being dropped down to the pre-show, so it sort of shows you that he's not in the highest graces of WWE as of right now. It's sort of like, well, we'll just worry about it once Cena finally leaves. But honestly, in my mind, I talked about this during my the New Day video. New Day, we're taking shots going after John Cena in the United States Open Challenge. We saw John Cena wrestle against Xavier Woods. We saw him wrestle against Biggie Langston. We never saw him wrestle against Kofi Kingston. I think that Kofi Kingston is going to be the guy answering the challenge against John Cena at Hell in a Cell. I think that the New Day, they're possibly going to lose to the Dudleys. I think the Dudleys are winning the tag titles at Hell in a Cell, but I would not be surprised if Kofi Kingston is the surprise man, ends up being some sort of a 3-on-1 ordeal. We've seen the New Day being booked as more, vicious heels. We saw that with the beatdown of Dolph Ziggler, the Dudleys, John Cena on Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago, and then it was never really followed up. We've seen Cena and the New Day wrestle in some 6-man tags on Monday Night Raw, but we haven't seen just a straight-up one-on-one match, finishing off the triad of the New Day. So, at Hell in a Cell, my pick for John Cena's Open Challenge is going to be Kofi Kingston. Wouldn't be surprised if the New Day and Kofi Kingston pulls away with the championship, and then sort of go with the sort of freebird rule of defending the title on Monday Night Raw, of, who's the champion for the night, getting into the ring, going up against whoever is going to be going up for the championship.